body was involved in the adultery. See, the whole nafs, the whole body. Don't try to separate excuses. Don't try to separate your tongue and let your tongue do the talking and the walking while your body does something else and you try to excuse what you did with your tongue. It's a habit of some of us. Do things and then think about how we're going to talk our way through them so what we did sounds plausible, excusable. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ gave 3 counseling steps in the acceptance of what Allah has ordained and how to be pleased with what He ordained. 3 things, 3 hadith, well known to you, but have you put them in this context? Just 3. And today we're just going to mention them. We're not talking about them in depth. Just mention them. The first hadith that he mentioned, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that helps people accept what Allah has ordained and then be pleased with what He ordained and then move on in their life without complex. The following. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم المؤمن القوي خير وحب إلى الله من المؤمن الضعيف وفي كل خير احرص على ما ينفعك واستعن بالله ولا تعجز وإن أصابك شيء فلا تقول لو أني فعلت كذا لو أني فعلت كذا كذا وكذا ولكن قل قدر الله وما شاء فعل فإن لو تحته عمل الشيطان. First hadith, and how to accept what Allah has ordained and how to be pleased with what He ordained without complex. Without complex. Superiority complex or inferiority complex. Just submission and moving on through life, practicing the religion as a believer. Without complex. Abu Hurairah reported that the last Messenger ﷺ said, a strong believer is better than and more loved by Allah than a weak believer, and there is good in every believer. Cherish that which gives you good in this world and the hereafter, and seek help from Allah, and do not be lazy and disabled. And if anything in the form of disappointment or trouble come to you, do not say, if I had only done this or that, or so and so would have happened if I had done this or that. Rather say, Allah has ordained it and has done what He willed, because if you say if, you will open the door of shaitan. Hadith number 2, dealing with the Messenger of Allah's counsel, because some of us are going to counselors and some of the counselors tell you, you know, I think it's the religion which is doing it to you, kind of making you, messing you up and splitting your mind. Well, a'udhu. Maybe you should chill on the religion thing a little bit. And as soon as you hear that, you know you're in the wrong place. You know you're in the wrong place. Spending your money on the wrong thing. The second thing that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ gave counsel to, his wasiyah, what he advised, how he gave active training to the companions about this issue, was his saying, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, عن جابر بن عبد الله رضي الله عنهما قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يعلمنا الاستخارة في الأمور كلها كسورة من القرآن يقول إذا هم أحدكم بالأمن فيركع ركعتين من غير فريضة ثم يقول اللهم إني أستخيرك بعلمك وأستقدرك بقدرتك وأسألك من فضلك العظيم فإنك تقدر ولا أقدر وتعلم ولا أعلم وأنت علام الغيوب اللهم إن كنت تعلم أن هذا الأمر خير لي في ديني ومعاشي وعاقبة أمري عاجله وآجله فاقدره لي ويسره لي ثم بارك لي فيه وإن كنت تعلم أن هذا الأمر شر لي في ديني ومعاشي وعاقبة أمري عاجله وآجله فَاصْرِفْهُ عَنِّي فَاصْرِفْنِي عَنْهُ وَاقْدُرْ لِي الْخَيْرَ حَيْثُ كَانَ ثُمَّ أَرْضِينِي بِهِ. Hadith number 2, in the counseling of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam of how to accept Allah's ordained ordinance and how to be pleased with what He ordained without complex, inferiority or superiority complex, without complexity. Oh, Allah, Jabir ibn Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, said, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to teach us to seek Allah's counsel, meaning he taught us istikhara in all matters, as he used to teach us a surah from the Qur'an. He would say, when any one of you has an important matter to decide, let him pray 2 rak'ah other than the obligatory prayer. What's an important matter to you, akhi? What do you think is an important matter? The things that are going to affect you and people around you. That's an important matter. The things that are going to affect your life and the life of people around you. But anything you say or anything you do was supposed to include istikhara. Because you're not supposed to harm people. And you're not supposed to harm people. And secondly, you're not supposed to harm people. And thirdly, you're not supposed to harm people. No harm. La darar wa la dirar. So the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught this like he would teach us surah from the Quran. That means it shows the importance of learning the istikhara prayer, just like a surah from the Quran. Just like a surah from the Quran. And it goes along with your plans, especially if you cannot decide. But not now. Inshallah later. And he would say, "O Allah, I seek your counsel, istikhara, of your knowledge, and I seek the help of your omnipotence. And I beseech you," meaning I beg you for your magnificent grace. "Surely you are capable and I am not. You know and I do not know, and you are the knower of the unseen. O Allah, if you know that this matter, then mention what it is good for me in my religion and my life, and for my welfare in the life to come, then ordain it for me and make it easy for me and bless me in it. And if you know that this matter is bad for me in my religion and my life and for my welfare in the life to come, then distance it from me and distance me from it without complex, and ordain for me what is good wherever it may be, and help me to be content. Help me to find contentment with the Lord who ordained. Help me to be content with the Lord who ordained it. Help my contentment with the Lord who ordained it. Because he ordained it and not you. And you asked him for his ordinance, and so you got it. So where's the contentment, akhi? Why the loud voices, akhi? Why the argument, akhi? And in some cases, boycott, ya akhi. Why are you boycotting? People to the point where they're going to boycott. Hold on to things that they promised. Hold on and hold up. Well, I have to be lied. You're going to hold on, akhi? You're going to keep it in your back? You're going to tuck it under your arm, piece of beating left? When? How? How could that be? Show me a boycott fi sabilillah of things that are meant to be fi sabilillah. I ain't gonna help y'all. I'm mad. I'm through. I'm mad. I'm done. I'm mad. I got something to give, but I ain't gonna give it. I'm mad. I'm mad now. You ain't getting nothing. I was gonna help you. I was gonna help you erect something fi sabilillah, but now my emotions got the best of me. And I can't even do as a man what I promised to do. And I'm going to be a holdup and possibly be destructive. That's what I'm going to do. That's the level of my manhood, you dig it? That's where I am. The old ball on the court, where the one who owns the ball walks off the court with the ball, so the game stops. So the game stops. Let's give the ball to somebody who ain't spoiled. Let's give the ball to somebody who can take it, you know? Who can roll with it. Who know what test is coming when you serve. I don't serve with all these years. I ain't got nothing. Look at me, I don't serve with all these years. Look at me, I don't serve with all these years to y'all. I was serving with all of y'all. What's up? What you gonna give me now for serving? I don't serve with all the years. Now, where's that? Now, come on now. Let's have a hand for the server. What kind of craziness is that? We got boys to raise. What kind of craziness is that? That's crazy. And don't take it. No matter who it comes from. Do not take it. Because it's crazy. That's outlandish. You got boys to raise. Abu, what was he talking about? I don't know, son. You need an aspirin. Get him an aspirin, somebody. You got a headache. Ain't afraid of nothing. Got a headache. Better get him an aspirin. Better get him an aspirin. Whoever it is. Better get him something. Third hadith in the counseling of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam about how to accept, submit, and rida biqada'i Allahi wa qadrihi. And believe me, the speakers is as afraid as you are. I'm saying, am I going to be able to pass it if it hits me? But it has to be, it's necessary. It's necessary to heal. So you don't get tricked in some new game brought from some historical game. Historically, we have to come with the agenda, know what I'm saying? Because we got to come with an agenda because the agenda got to be put down. What agenda? What agenda is better than the agenda given by the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Mu'adh ibn Jabal when he said in the Yemen? He said, Ya Mu'adh, sayatika qawmun ahlul kitab. People from Ahlul Kitab gonna come to you, Ya Mu'adh. So the first thing you do, and that lesson was to show Mu'adh what the ground was going to be, what it was going to be like, to give him a background, radiallahu anhu, so he wouldn't walk in blind. Invite them to the oneness of Allah. Invite them to the oneness of Allah. All this race and trying to run back into the black hole, trying to run back to the ship. There is no ship. There is no Africa from those centuries. That Africa is gone. That Africa is gone. That issue is an issue from Jahiliyyah, straight from it. And the Muslims know better. And they know that we should not allow someone to bring us a complex from some old complex to kick us off and put us back in a hole at a time that we can no longer control or have any influence over whatsoever, and take our mind and distract us from calling the people to Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ahlul Sunnah is not going to go for it. Ahlul Sunnah is not going to have it. Ahlul Sunnah don't care who calls to it. There is no racism in Islam. There's no race program. There's no race standard. There's none. We're going to remain the religion for the people. Inshallah. We're going to remain. Ahlul Sunnah is going to remain. The Salafis are going to remain, inshallah, the religion that calls the people to the deen of Islam. And not going to be bought off, inshallah, roll off, inshallah, presented some old history from who knows what, and say, this is what happened to you. So you know what? I didn't feel that. I know what happened.